The other day, my daughter was like, "Dad, what happened to the internet?" The other day, my daughter was like, "Dad, what happened to the internet? It's so fast."
When the Jägermeister Cup was first announced, it promised regional rivalries, and tonight in Knoxville, the competition delivers on that promise with the Barrel Brawl taking center stage from Regal Soccer Stadium. It's the second edition of this rivalry between one Knoxville and Lexington SC. We say hello and welcome here from Knoxville. Sam Goldfarb, thrilled to bring you all the action as we dive into the Group 2 standings in the Jägermeister Cup. Lexington currently tops the group with 8 points. Knoxville bottom of the group after dropping their last 2 cup contests. Well, for one Knoxville, their biggest weakness of late has been finishing. Just 2 goals in their last 3 contests. Angelo Kelly is the man they hope to rectify things in cup competition. 3 goals and 2 assists overall on the campaign. He's been the creative talisman, and more onus falls on his shoulders with Kempis Tequila out tonight with a finger injury. So look out for him to make an impact for the hosts. On the other side of things, Alexis Cerritos is a newcomer, joined the club in late April, and scored his first goal for Lexington in the last Jägermeister Cup contest against Chattanooga. That was a 4-3 come-from-behind victory. Cerritos, the former Central Valley man, played an integral part in that. He is a young player who has really excited Darren Powell. Look at number 11 in white to make an impact. Well, we are just about geared up for round 2 of the Barrel Brawl this year. Knoxville is hoping for an encore for March 23rd. Lexington hunting a measure of revenge. Lineups and kickoff from Regal Soccer Stadium next on ESPN+.
The other day, my daughter was like, "Dad, what happened to the internet? It's so fast." For the first time in years, it's like we connected.
What?
The KUB Fiber Effect. See when it's coming to you at KUB.org.
The all-new Volkswagen ID4 SUV is truly something to behold. On the outside, clean aerodynamic lines. On the inside, plenty of room with a spacious, comfortable cabin. It will transform how you think about electric cars. Now available at Harper Volkswagen and at harpervolkswagen.com.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Weakness of late has been finishing. Just 2 goals in their Barrel Brawl. And we welcome you back to Regal Soccer Stadium. One Knoxville and Lexington getting geared up for the second edition of the Barrel Brawl this year. Knoxville hoping to bounce back from back-to-back defeats in cup play. Tonight's starting 11 is brought to you by KUB Fiber, the fastest in the world. Here is your look at one Knoxville's 11. A fair few changes, the notable one up front, Kempis Tequila out of the 11 after sustaining a finger injury. He's replaced by Rodolfo Castro. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, at the back, there's a change between the sticks with Sean Lewis out with a family emergency. Johan Garibe replaces him between the sticks, the 24-year-old, a major opportunity here tonight. On the other side of things, for Darren Powell's squad, it's a very similar 11 to the last couple we've seen with 2 notable changes. Anthony Patty slotting into the center defensive mid role alongside Abel Caputo. And then as well at center back, Cici Uche, who made his debut for Lexington last time out in league play in the 4-1 defeat against Forward Madison. He gets his first start for Lexington alongside Ebi Akon at the back. Just about set to get things underway. The second edition of the Barrel Brawl between one Knoxville and Lexington SC in Knoxville. Here is Castro's first touch. And he'll draw an early set piece for the hosts. mention it off the top. A Knoxville team that has scored just 2 goals in 3 Jägermeister Cup matches. They have struggled going forward of late, and the equation gets a bit more complex with Kempis Tequila out. Mark McKeever acknowledged that they didn't finish to the quality he has hoped the last couple matches. There have been moments of promise, but not much more than that. 2 in the vicinity of this set piece. Frank Ross is one of them on the right-hand side. Whipped in towards the near post and cleared only as far as Angelo Kelly. Here's Haugley, center back, still parked towards the opposing penalty area and not quite on the same wavelength as his teammate Kingsford Ajay. When talking to Mark McKeever this week, he emphasized the importance of a fast start. It's a Knoxville team that has been caught off guard in back-to-back matches in the opening 20 minutes. They fell 1-0 in the last cup match at Forward Madison and conceded in that time period. They conceded twice in the opening 20 minutes in their return to league play last Saturday against Richmond Kickers. So it's not a surprise to see them shot out of a cannon here in these opening couple minutes. Ball over the top towards Castro, and Knight out to claim without too much trouble. If you're just joining us, we welcome you inside Regal Soccer Stadium on the campus of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Sam Goldfarb here, bringing you all of the action in the second edition of the Barrel Brawl. A Knoxville side that has been starved for victories. Just 1 in the last 7 in all competitions. Lexington side that has struggled in the league, but has taken 2 of 3 to begin Jägermeister Cup play. That's been enough to top the group. It's a Knoxville side that, as we mentioned, despite a promising second half, could not come away from their last home match with any points in league play. A 2-1 defeat at the hands of Richmond Kickers. Fell victim to a brutal opening 20, and then in the second half, flipped the script. Won a penalty that Frank Ross missed, but Kempis Tequila converted just 12 minutes after the restart. And from there were chances to equalize for Mark McKeever's squad. And talking to Mark McKeever, he said it was just an issue of the final touch in the final third. Had about 2 or 3 headers in the 6-yard box that they couldn't force past a goalkeeper in Richmond. And came up empty-handed for the second consecutive contest in all competitions. Here's Caputo. He's under pressure. Knight will play out of danger. Kelly. Comes loose to Attest Youth, who's caught fire lately in Jägermeister Cup competition. Christian Liu Young. Kelly. This is Kingsford Ajay, former South Georgia Tormenta star. Already has a USL League One title in his trophy case. Came in 2022. Frank Ross is offside as the flag is raised on the far flank. Early false alarm for Knoxville. Here is Caputo, a new addition as a defensive midfielder for Lexington. DJ Benton, the North Carolina FC transfer. Be playing against his former teammate, Christian Liu Young. This is Richie, one of the more dynamic fullbacks in USL League One. Cross is stabbed away by CC Uche. His first start in a Lexington kit this evening. Player who garnered a lot of excitement at the time of his signing. Played college with multiple power conference institutions. And still inside the opening 10 minutes from Regal Soccer Stadium. I mentioned the struggles by Lexington in the league. And they fell 4-1 in a thrashing against Ford Madison last Saturday. That was a match in which the opening 20 minutes really caught them out. Conceded 3 times in that stretch. And in the second half, pulled one back, but ultimately could not make any further dent in things before conceding late. Darren Powell said he felt the second half was much better than the first, but they dug themselves far too big a hole to overcome. And in many ways, maybe still a hangover from their comeback victory over Chattanooga in their previous cup contest that lingered into last weekend. It has been a unique tale, though, for Lexington. Such a stark contrast between their near cellar positioning in the League One table versus their table-topping aspirations in Group 2 of the Cup. Darren Powell says he feels somewhere between the two is where they probably lie amongst the League One squads. Here's Cerritos. Number 11 in white is a lightning rod. So much energy on the flanks. Had his moments for Central Valley last year, and he's made his way back to USL League One after a very brief stint with Huntsville City in MLS Next Pro to begin the season. But he knows this league well, and Baron Powell is very high on his potential. This is Onan. Switch of the play to Christian Liu Young. Let's take a look at the injury report. This injury report is brought to you by UT Medical. We've already mentioned Kempis Tequila out tonight. It is an onslaught of ailments for both sides. Here's a quick break for Castro, looking towards the back stick. And it's cleared only as far as Callum Johnson. You also see Skelton is out tonight. His second consecutive match missed with an ankle injury for the Knoxville captain. Kelly plays it back towards Ross, who wins his side, a very unorthodox corner. But the match is first nonetheless. This corner kick is brought to you by University Orthopedic Surgeons, the official orthopedic surgeons of One Knoxville SC. It is Stuart Ritchie to take it. And he is so dynamic on these in-swingers. Curling towards the heart of the area and harmlessly into the gloves of Emil Knight. Early on, statement of intent very clear from Knoxville. They want to boss proceedings and monopolize possession. Lexington is not against playing direct when they need to. As Hougley is whistled for his towering header moments ago. Anthony Paddy seems a little worse for wear after that challenge. Here's another look at this challenge. A little bit of head tennis. And you just see DJ Benton fly in here and seemingly catches Patty with the shoulder. Lead official Rafael Santos didn't hesitate blowing his whistle. And he's still trying to negotiate in terms of this armistice. Seems to be the extracurriculars are all taken care of. So Rafael Santos is our lead official. He is partnered up by his assistants Jackson Krauser and Douglas Clayton. Josiah Parkey is the fourth official tonight. 15 minutes in, no score in the second rendition of the barrel brawl between One Knoxville and Lexington Sporting Club. A result which went Knoxville's way in 2-0 fashion on March 23rd. A back and forth contest in which Castro opened the scoring in the 70th, and then Stuart Ritchie polished things off 18 minutes later. But these two teams face far different fortunes since the last time they met. Knoxville could take a time machine back to March 23rd. I'm sure they'd do it in a heartbeat. Their squad would be a lot less banged up on the injury front as well. Still optimism surrounding Mark McKeever about their trajectory going forward. This is Ates Diouf, an all-league player from a season ago. He'll win his side to throw. not many chances have gone Lexington's way. Neither keeper tested in the opening quarter of an hour. We'll see if that'll change for Antes Diouf and company. We'll have to wait until the next time downfield. Some hand fighting and the whistle sounds against Lexington's star center attacking midfielder. All his achievements in year one with Lexington cannot be overshadowed. 15 goals a season ago, and 12 of them came in the final 15 matches. This year, playing in more of an attacking mid role after featuring as the lone striker last year. And he's partnered up with Cam Lancaster pretty solidly so far, especially in cup play. And the two linked up on Lancaster's thrilling stoppage time winner in the last cup contest against Chattanooga. It was 2 goals in stoppage time, which allowed Lexington to steal the points and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Cerritos. It comes wide now for Christian Liu Young. Looking for Lancaster, who's been an isolated man up front early on. Liu Young. A flashing ball came for Lancaster and took a fortuitous hop, but not one that will really trouble Johan Garibay in his first start against a league opponent tonight. And you get your look at the young 24-year-olds. His first professional season, a product of Gonzaga University, spent last season with Sacramento Republic on a training basis. Someone was an all-WCC selection his sophomore year with the Zags. Thrust into a critical position with Lewis unavailable tonight. Here's Patty. He'll pick out Lancaster, who wins the set piece expertly. And a yellow shown early as well. Perhaps harshly, but we've got our first man in the book tonight. It'll be Jalen Chrysler, the first man in the book for Knoxville tonight. You see him wrap up Lancaster on the half turn. It's a harsher yellow, but a professional foul that maybe warrants the card nonetheless. One center back already in the book tonight for Knoxville. Lancaster bashed this towards the edge of the area, and it's cleared only as far as Christian Liu Young. Ritchie. Kingsford Adjay, former Dayton University man. Standout there as well. Not quite on the same wavelength as Rodolfo Castro. mentioned it off the top. This is a competition that is built on fomenting regional rivalries, and this is certainly one of them. Two clubs that began their respective histories as professional outfits last year. And they organized the Barrel Brawl, which is an aggregate battle across every meeting in a campaign with a full-size whiskey barrel on the line, in addition to a bottle of, let's get another look before we get back to that as Akon got fouled by Kelly, but it's a giant whiskey barrel on the line, in addition to a bottle of bourbon from a distillery in the loser's hometown. So last year, won Knoxville, taking 2 of the 3 matches and going unbeaten in the 3 contests. They won on aggregate as a result. And in light of that, they earned themselves a full-size whiskey barrel that they've brought to the pitch tonight. And Lexington had to send them a bottle of bourbon from Lexington, Kentucky. It's a really unique rivalry, and USL League One excels in those. And on rivalry week, it's only fitting that these 2 lock horns tonight. Currently, the aggregate is 2-0 Knoxville in 2024 after they won 2-0 in league play in late March. And there was some friendly jabbering on Twitter between the 2 clubs as well. With one Knoxville taunting Lexington, sending them a bottle of bourbon because at the end of the season, they claim Lexington will not be receiving a bottle from them. Here's Richie's delivery, and it is right into the palms of a Malnight. Very tongue-in-cheek from the Knoxville staff. Midway through this first half, still no major chances either way. Knoxville bossing it, but stymied as they've progressed to the final third thus far. Lexington very sure-handed in their penalty box, at least up to this point. And this is Jaden Onen for Lex Sporting. Patty. Youth. This is Cerritos, a focal point early on for the visitors. And a rare errant clearance from Knight. This is Lancaster beginning to impose himself more in this fixture. Youth unable to keep that in play for Lexington. Lexington made so much noise this offseason, especially when it comes to the spending. It's been a heavy topic of discussion, both between Darren Powell and media as well as other coaches, and it's been an aggressive statement of intent from the Lexington organization, purchasing the likes of Cam Lancaster, bringing in Jaden Onen, who was a Young Player of the Year nominee at Madison last year, and now adding Cerritos and some French championship talents as well. They've made quite the formidable roster. The issue has been nobody has been fully healthy at the same time. And there's an onslaught of injuries, about 6 or 7 guys out tonight for Lexington who, if they had them in the equation, it would make the squad one of the most competitive in the league. Here is Patty crossing towards the back stick. And stabbed away towards the feet of Frank Ross. Onan. Lou Young. Getting the ball towards Caputo. Shrugs off Haugley with considerable aplomb. Weaves towards the byline. Does enough to win Lexington its first corner of the night. We'll see if this set piece can change the cagey nature of proceedings in the opening half hour. It will be Jorge Corrales over to deliver. Cuban international, 50 caps to his name. And donning the captain's armband tonight. Here is Corrales' in-swinger. He's right towards Gary Bay's gloves. He'll punch it away and whistle against Onan as he went over the top of Kelly on the follow-up header. Early on, composure displayed by the 24-year-old Gary Bay between the sticks. Just his second appearance for 1 Knox. He played in the first round of the Open Cup back in mid-March. Pretty impressive in that affair as well, but it's a much different stage playing against a league opponent and against a developmental league outfit they faced that night. So far, quality returns on limited work rate. This is Benton. Driving it through towards Castro and overcooked the forward ball a touch. Man between the sticks for Lexington is the mainstay, Amal Knight, in his second year with the club, a Jamaican international in his own right. Someone who has a knack for a highlight reel save, has drawn rave reviews for his shot-stopping ability. And while it has been a mixed bag in terms of the save rate, he's got 2 clean sheets to his name in league play already, and when he is locked in, is one of the tougher keepers to bypass in this league. 30 years of age and still playing at a relatively high level. Castro is chopped down at the knees by Onan. No whistle from the lead official. And that challenge on Lancaster will draw the ire of Rafael Santos. Corrales. It's broken up well by Angelo Kelly, who's been deployed back in his more natural center mid 6 type role tonight. Someone who opened his career as a center defensive mid, but began this season as more of a winger and thrived as a result. Perhaps the move back into his more natural deployment is part of the reason why the goals haven't flown in as prolifically as they did early on in the campaign. Always a threat to uncork one from afar as well. There's Castro. Charging through the area, and heavy touch sends it back tonight. The inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup continues on Saturday, June 8th, with the fourth round of games and group play starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Watch all the cup games streaming exclusively on ESPN+. Busy night of Jägermeister Cup action kicking off a half hour ago. And many matches both in progress and to come in Rivalry Week. Knoxville winning this set piece, and Jaden Onan, the first Lexington man to enter the referee's book. A booking either way now, with both Onan and Chrysler on Rafael Santos's yellow card listing. Well, it appears it may have been Corrales who drew his ire, actually. Either way, one apiece. Well, you know, third time's the charm. It was actually Abel Caputo who entered the book. Announced over the loudspeaker as number 6 in white. Ritchie and Johnson over this. It is Ritchie who whips it in. Bounces right into the waiting gloves of Amel Knight. So Caputo in the book, as is Chrysler. The only major actions on tonight's timeline so far through 30 minutes and change. Ross, clattered down by Onan, and this is a very appetizing spot for a set piece. And another yellow card may be brandished out of the official's pocket. Well, it was just the magic spray that came out of his pocket. As you see Ross charging forward here, both Onan and Uche getting boots in the vicinity. And it places both Kingsford Adjei and Rodolfo Castro in a very enticing position for this free kick. Both of which have a knack for uncorking them from afar. Castro will take it, drives it towards the far corner, and narrowly whistling past the near post. The match's best effort, and it sails mercifully wide of that left post. This was a terrific hit from Castro. Just got inside it a tad and ricocheted nothing but the outside of the side netting. It didn't look like Knight would have had it covered, though, had that snuck in. Best chance of the match for either side so far. A man down for Knoxville. A back line that has already been depleted by the early injury to Jordan Skelton in the last cup match against Madison. And Sievert Haugley slow to get back to his feet. It appears he is content to try and continue. Another look at this, just a long ball, 50-50 challenge between Haugley and Cerritos, and may have taken some collateral damage to the back of the skull. Good to see he's up and looks ready to continue, although he'll be forced to sit on the touchline until the next stoppage of play. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Just over 36 minutes gone here from Regal Soccer Stadium, the home of the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. No score between One Knox and Lexington SC in the second rendition of the Barrel Brawl in 2024. Both teams starting to twist the screws, notably Knoxville, with their threat growing ever present as we approach intermission. This is Ajay hunting the run of Kelly. It comes to Stuart Ritchie, and the studs up challenge from Cerritos is going to put him in the book. In addition to seeding a very well-positioned set piece. Cerritos, the second Lexington man cautioned here in this first half. 50-50 challenge here. You see Ritchie trying to get on the end of this, and Cerritos just loses the foot race. Anytime you go up with the studs up and you don't get the ball, you can expect to see your name written on the back of the referee's yellow card. Cerritos, the latest man to experience that fate. Puts Ross and Ritchie, two of the better set-piece suppliers in the immediate vicinity of this free kick. Ross curls it. It comes through a thicket of defenders and cleared only as far as DJ Benton. Castro. And the flag will be raised against Frank Ross. Looking around the scope of Jägermeister Cup play, we have yet to see a goal fly in round 4 of the competition. Richmond and Charlotte knotted at 0-0 around the 33-minute threshold. Chattanooga and Madison just getting underway moments ago at CHI Memorial Stadium. One more match to be played, the Fire and Ice Cup between Hailstorm and Central Valley at 9. But in a competition that both advertises and normally delivers goals, we have yet to see any club produce one just yet. So you can surely expect them to come in mass once someone opens the scoring in this competition. Onan driving forward, linking well with Cerritos. Much needed intervention from Johnson. Come out to Diouf. Looking for a window of space. Lays it back off. And that effort sailing well above Gary Bay's crossbar. "40 minutes gone here from Regal Soccer Stadium. Still awaiting the elusive breakthrough. Here's Diouf, and now Lancaster. Well-timed ball to Christian Liu Young, and he wins his side their second corner of the night. Lexington looking to manufacture late brilliance before the break. Who else but Corrales to take this in-swinger once again? Drilling it towards the heart of the area. It is punched out to Abel Caputo. Towards a Khan, flick on header, and he will draw the offside flag on the near side. Busy night for the linesmen so far. Less busy night for the goalkeepers through nearly one half of action. This is Kelly. And this picks out Ritchie. Ross. Comes to Sievert Haugley. And now Ejay. Right before that attack comes to nothing. At least one more set piece for Knoxville right outside the 18. And it is one Anthony Patty is not ecstatic about. Ejay and Ross standing over this set piece. Ross to take it himself. Couldn't quite get the curl required. Not a bad looking free kick, but Ross gets underneath it, and there's no whip to that from a tighter angle than it looks. When you get inside the D around the 18, the wall is closer on you, and it's harder to pick out that top corner and get it up and down. Although that angle looking better than a straight on one. Into the final minute of the initial 45. We'll hear word on added time momentarily. Confirmed 3 minutes of stoppage time once the clock hits 45. And there are the 3 minutes on the scoreboard. Is there a late twist to a cagey first half tale? Ritchie to deliver. Wanted the short option with Ross, clearly. Floating it towards the near post. Owen flicks it away only as far as Kelly. And this is Ross, the Scotsman. Still looking to get back up to full strength after recovering from an Achilles injury earlier in the season. Dynamic when he hits top form. Well, Mr. Amal Knight had a lot of set pieces to stare at, but none that required his actual intervention. Nice day at the office so far for 13 in yellow tonight. Final minute of added time. And one last long distance free kick for Lexington before we put a bow on the first half. It is Corrales standing over it, dinking it towards Uche. Got his head to it momentarily. Picks out Caputo cleverly. Flashing ball beyond the reach of Lancaster. One final opportunity before intermission for the visitors. This is Liu Young. Cerritos. Weaving inside. Has some space. Links with Lancaster. Tried to unleash. Instead, caught DJ Benton's shins. Nice to see both are all right to continue. Beyond the 3 added minutes, you figure the halftime whistle is immediately beckoning. And there it is. No score after 45 minutes in a cagey first half in the barrel brawl. Knoxville with the bulk of possession, but neither side able to trouble the opposing keeper. An enticing first half, still awaiting the first glaring opportunity. Round 2 of the barrel brawl, much calmer than the first round, but still plenty of intrigue as we approach the second half. We'll step aside here on ESPN+. 0-0 between Knoxville and Lexington after 45 minutes of action.
Well, kids, our lives are going to be different now. It was part of our family for so long. This is just part of growing up.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad to see it go.
Yeah, me too. Let's go inside. It is muggy out here.
Say goodbye to the loading bar and say hello to KUB Fiber. With up to 10 gig speed, it could be the end of waiting as we know it. The world's fastest internet, only from KUB.
Backyard staycations begin with Earthadelic, transforming outdoor spaces into your own relaxing oasis. From custom design to superior installation, our team is dedicated to providing the highest level of quality and craftsmanship with every one-of-a-kind project. Earthadelic offers stunning, resort-worthy outdoor living that will be uniquely suited for your home, delivering a complete turnkey work of art in your backyard. Earthadelic, surpassing expectations and creating the outdoor paradise you've always dreamed of. Contact us today to schedule your consultation.
Back here from Regal Soccer Stadium, where there's no score at halftime in the second edition of the Barrel Brawl between Knoxville and Lexington. Well, it was a busy round 3 of the Jägermeister Cup. Let's take a look at the standout moments from a couple weekends ago.
Derek Gephardt opens the scoring. Forward Madison in front in the 19th minute.
They top Group 2 at the moment. Here's Malongo. It's an errant clearance. Malongo's through, and Malongo opens the scoring. Chattanooga in front at home. And he picks him out. Onan is through, has a runner in Diouf, and Diouf levels it. Plays it through to Malongo, who wrong foots Fox, through to Marsh. Chattanooga back in front. With him as well. Looking for Cerritos, and Lexington level once again. Lukic looking for the retort. It pings through. Malongo pulls it back. Another swift response. This time is an errant clearance, and Brown is through. Nico Brown to equalize for Lexington. In stoppage time, the visitors level. Diouf flashes it across, and it's finished off. Cam Lancaster! 2 goals in stoppage time by Lexington to potentially steal all 3 points.
Ball again. Bill Hart sprints up, shoots, and scores! Crossed in again, Tunbridge, back post, in, scores! Sebastian Vivas! He's done it again! 8 goals in 9 games. Adrian Billhart looks for space, looks for a shot, and a goal! Adrian Billhart, what a homecoming for him.
Oprah's gonna get there. Rendon is too. It's Bruno Rendon, and a flying Austin Pack denied him at first. Second opportunity blocked in the box. Appeals for a handball. It's Calamity, and it's in the back of the net. Johnson strike! Oh my goodness! It's Gabriel Oberton, moves it along. Luis Alvarez! It's 2-1! The Independents have come all the way back. Misjudged the position of Horde. Puts it in the box, headed on, it's an equalizer! Ethan Horde to seal it, and it's into the top corner! Northern Colorado take the bragging rights and the extra point.
Towards Heel. Heel's cross. Headed away by Smith. Stays in the box. Blocked off the line by Smith. They say no goal. Goal leader. McKinnon lets it fly. Oh, what a save. Who has to finish? Waldeck.
The defense moves into the box, and it turns into a great clearance away. Can bring it down onto the right foot. Low and just wide. He's claiming points here. Rodriguez, calm as you like. The 2 points head the way of the hosts. Sends Aviles the wrong way. And it's Omaha who have 2 shootout wins in 3.
What a week it was in round 3 of the Jägermeister Cup. 2 matches going to penalties. We could have 1 to kick off week 4 in extra spot kicks if all breaks right. We'll step aside here on ESPN Plus. When we return, a look around the league.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration.
Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
Rolls it across, Cheney leaves it, Galindres!
Regulation time. Doyle, headed up in front, rebound, scores!
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Maybe running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We welcome you back to Regal Soccer Stadium, where there's no score in the second edition of the Barrel Brawl between one Knoxville and Lexington SC. Let's take a look around USL League One, some big news and notes around the competition. Well, take a look at ESPN2 on June 15th, where Forward Madison hosts South Georgia Tormenta in the first ESPN2 match of the year, a new linear package for the USL Championship and League One. In addition, it's an expanding league. Westchester SC revealing their crest. They will join in 2025. And Siobhan Marsh named Week 10 Player of the Week after logging 3 goals and an assist in 2 matches in Week 10. We mentioned the Jägermeister Cup. Not a lot of goals in the first 3 matches, but there is one. Charlotte Independence, a halftime lead over Richmond Kickers, 1-0. There's no score about a half hour into Chattanooga-Madison, the other match in Group 2 of the Jägermeister Cup. And then later tonight, Northern Colorado hosts Central Valley in the Fire and Ice Cup in Rivalry Week here on ESPN+. Taking a look at what lies ahead for Round 5. The Central Group raging on. One Knoxville will host Forward Madison. Meanwhile, as you look further down the schedule, Lexington visiting Greenville in one of their 2 matches out of the Central region. Because everybody plays each other twice, you get 2 matches outside of your region for a total of 8 group contests. It begins Thursday, June 27th with Union Omaha hosting Chattanooga Red Wolves. We are still awaiting our breakthrough here in the Barrel Brawl. One Knoxville and Lexington, no score through 45 minutes. We'll step aside when we come back. Some stats and highlights next on ESPN+.
KUB Fiber. It's the fastest internet in the world.
Seriously?
Seriously. Up to 10 gig speed with no contracts and no hidden fees. Let's see the other guys try to match that. The world's fastest internet, only from KUB.
The all-new Volkswagen ID4 SUV is truly something to behold. On the outside, clean aerodynamic lines. On the inside, plenty of room with a spacious, comfortable cabin. It will transform how you think about electric cars. Now available at Harper Volkswagen and at harpervolkswagen.com.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Back here from Knoxville, where there's no score at intermission between One Knox and Lexington SC after 45 minutes. But there were a few moments of intrigue in that first half. Let's jump into those right now as we take a look back at what transpired in the opening 45. Biggest chance of the half went Rodolfo Castro's way, a set piece that whistled beyond the left post. That is the one that drew Amal Knight's attention the most in an otherwise very clean day at the office. There was another set piece here for Ross that he drove over, as you see him just bash that over the crossbar, which really those were the only two major chances for Knoxville. On the other side of things, Lexington didn't have much of the ball, but they had a couple of enticing half chances themselves. This comes at the end of the first. It's a good cross from Caputo, but one that eludes the run of Cam Lancaster. No shots on goal for either team in that first half. And you take your look at the stats. How about that? No shots on goal. 4 total shots total in the first 45 minutes in an otherwise pretty even affair. Slight shot advantage for Knoxville. They also have a slight possession advantage. Tell you what, it did feel like it was more than a 51-49 advantage because the bulk of the match was played in Lexington's half. A couple corners and as well as a couple offside flags in an otherwise peaceful proceeding in the opening 45 minutes. We'll see if we get some more lively action here in the second, but either way, we'll have a penalty shootout if it remains level after 90 minutes. We are just about set to get things back underway and resume round 2 of the Barrel Brawl. Last season's runners-up, Knoxville, looking to make up ground on the team that boasts the barrel in Lexington, looking to make up ground on Knoxville. Words are difficult tonight. It is a Knoxville team that won the first meeting 2-0. Both goals came in the second half. An eerily similar game script through 45 minutes. Last season's runners-up, Lexington, looking to begin their pursuit of the barrel and continue their pursuit of the top spot in Group 2. They'll be going from right to left in Lexington, Knoxville going from left to right. Well, after a very cagey first half, both sides hoping for better fortunes in the final third in the second. And back underway, the second half of Barrel Brawl Round 2. Underway here from Regal Soccer Stadium. And we showed you the highlights moments ago. Outside of a couple of set pieces, chances were at a premium in the opening 45 minutes. It was a half where Knoxville were more of the aggressors. But Lexington had some intriguing moments on the counter. Lexington's made a change, and it is an aggressive one. Tate Robertson is replacing Anthony Patty after 45 minutes. Robertson, one of the top chance creators on this Lexington squad a season ago. They've brought him on as a bit of a super sub the last few matches. An odd regression in role, but still someone who can unlock a match like this. Perhaps the perfect candidate to do so. And this is DJ Benton with his first foray into the final third. Drives a low cross. Cleared out of danger to Robertson with his first touch. Transgression against Corrales. Well, Robertson, the 27-year-old out of Springfield, Ohio, making his 8th appearance. He leads this Lexington team with 10 chances created, despite having yet to supply a goal contribution this year. Last season, logged the joint third most assists in the league with 8. And always a threat as a dynamic wing presence. Callum Johnson and Ritchie standing over this free kick. It's a curling effort from Ritchie, one that does not find a teammate in navy blue and orange. That yields a free kick for his counterpart, Johnson. Someone who was so accomplished during his college career, won a national championship at Clemson, now in his second year with one Knox. Here's Benton. Kelly. A pedestrian first half by his high standards. Comes out to O'Hearn, who has a hit, and not a bad one at that. And according to the official, may have taken a deflection as well. Sean O'Hearn winning his side just their second corner of the night. And it comes on the deflected long-range strike. Well, fans, this corner kick is brought to you by University Orthopedic Surgeons, the official orthopedic surgeons for One Knoxville SC. Stuart Ritchie stands over it. One Knox looking for a red-hot start to this second half. After a first half that lacked chances both ways. It's taken short this time. And back out to Ritchie. First time cross towards Castro. A nervy clearance that yields another corner. Ritchie getting target practice now from the corner flag. This time to Johnson. Cross towards the byline, back post, and headed home. One Knoxville breaks through just after halftime, and it's Jalen Chrysler who opens the scoring. A series One Knox has dominated, and Jalen Chrysler a much-needed breakthrough for the hosts. Terrific short corner routine. Chrysler wins the foot race at the back stick, bashing it into the back of the net, and relief exuding throughout the One Knox touchline. One Knox 1, Lexington 0. And it's Jalen Chrysler who does the honors for the hosts. Chrysler, a 29-year-old who is a veteran in USL League One. His first appearance against a league foe this year here in 2024, but someone so experienced. His second year with One Knox. 2 years ago when he was with Richmond, anchored a kicker's back line that ultimately fueled them to the Players' Shield title that year. In his 5th USL League One campaign, and a necessary breakthrough for a One Knox team that was starved for goals. We'll see how that changes things. A goal right after the restart, and it will open things up. There's Robertson's cross. That ricochets off the inside of the post, and now Diouf clattered down by Gary Bay. It is all popped off here at Regal Soccer Stadium. Chance not necessarily lost either. This is Onan. Driving it once again to the back post. Another towering header from Lou Young. This time mercifully beyond the near post. How about this sequence from Lexington? What a cross this is from Robertson. All the way onto the head of Christian Lou Young, who nearly steered that in from a seemingly impossible angle. And Johan Garibay put on notice shortly after the restart. Well, seems unaffected by the slew of chances that he's just had to cope with. And we're finally ready to get back underway. Hearing word, Darren Powell just cautioned for Lexington, something he said to the fourth official. His first season took over from Sam Stockley, who has moved back into a front office role this year. Someone who is so passionate about youth to pro pathways. He speaks at length about it, and he believes they are building a project in the Lexington community in year 2. One that should have young children growing up wanting to play for the club one day. Castro on the counter, winning his side another corner. We all know what happened the last time. One knock set up at the corner flag. It was Chrysler's breakthrough just 3 minutes ago. See if they take it short for the third consecutive time. They've had better returns on it on small sample size. They do just that. Johnson back to Ritchie. Blasted away by Akon, only as far as DJ Benton. Here's Ritchie. Slithering inside. Doesn't quite have an encore from his barrel brawl banger the last time these two teams met. Now Knight finally facing the first shot on target. Not much he could do about it. Preoccupied by the action at the near post. Enough for Chrysler to get free and drive it home at the far post. That is what makes the difference. The breakthrough that seems so elusive after 45 minutes comes 5 minutes into the second. Here's Onan into the area, cutting it back for Lancaster. And now Caputo. Weaving, and a deflected strike, which will go out of play for a Lexington corner kick. Hearing word at the next dead ball, Cam Lancaster will make way. Remember, he's returning from an injury that kept him out last Saturday at Forward Madison. He's going to be replaced by the man who scored in that Madison match, Khalid Balogun, who is every bit of a target man. Corrales in swinger towards Diouf at the back post. Will appeal for another corner and win that appeal. Lexington not shy about making alterations. We've already made one, another is set to come. As we creep closer to the hour threshold. Robertson to take this in-swinger. Towards the near stick this time. It ricochets, came free momentarily for CC Uche and Garibay pouncing on it. And now some extracurriculars in the box. Chrysler suffering the after effects of a challenge. And Knoxville taking issue with Ebby Akon of Lexington. Rivalry slowly beginning to boil over here in the barrel brawl. Let's take another look at this. It was a chaotic sequence in the penalty area. So Robertson's delivery comes to the near post. Collision of heads, and well, it appears Akon just dropped his head into a defender. It wasn't Chrysler who took the brunt of it. It appears Haugley took a headbutt from Ebi Akon. And still trying to plead his case with the lead official tonight, and Rafael Santos. Well then, the next 30 minutes should be quite interesting. And Santos is still trying to decipher what transpired. To the naked eye and on replay, it did appear to be unwarranted violent conduct. It looked like Akon just dropped his head into the defender's chest. And now Rafael Santos is going to call him over, and we will get a ruling. Maybe judgment day for the Lexington center back. He reaches into his pocket, and it is red. Ebenezer Akon has been sent off, and Lexington's down to 10 men. Rafael Santos conversing with his assistants, and it is the veteran center back, Ebi Akon, who gets his marching orders. Lexington forced to play with 10 men for the final 31 minutes. Let's take one more look at this. Ebi Akon moments ago sent off for violent conduct. Drops the header into the chest of what appeared to be Sievert Haugley. And in the 59th minute, draws the red card from Rafael Santos. And Lexington SC, for the final 31 minutes of this barrel brawl, playing a man down. Here is your look at it. Rafael Santos to the pocket. He waves off the yellow. He had initially pulled the yellow from his pocket. Straight red. Ebenezer Akon, somewhat rightfully, told to sit in the locker room for the remainder of this match. While some may feel it's a soft red, anytime you drop your head into a defender's chest unprompted in a non-footballing action, you can expect to see a red card delivered to you. That's exactly what transpired for Ebi Akon. And finally, the earlier change takes place. Khalid Balogun in place of Cam Lancaster up front. So Lancaster, in his return from injury, sitting right around the hour mark. The man who started in his place and scored the lone Lexington goal last time out, Khalid Balogun. A true target man at 6'4", filling the void and looking to provide a spark. This is Callum Johnson. Castro down in the area, appeals for a penalty, and immediately waved off by Rafael Santos. The referee's become a very busy man here since the restart. Tensions boiling in these last 20 minutes. Now remember, this isn't the first time we've seen a red card in a Lexington Cup match. They were sent off twice in their opening Jaeger Cup fixture. It was initially Yannick Yankum who was sent off late after Tate Robertson was sent off for violent conduct around a similar time in the match. That was 0-0 against Madison at the time, and they came back and won. A stoppage time winner from Kalen Fox, with Lexington down to 9 men to take their Jägermeister Cup opener at home. As now Ajay has slid into a Mal Knight's ankle. unintentional, at least from the reaction. Lexington players seem appalled by it. Reach into the pocket, and this one's yellow against Kingsford Agi. But in that Madison match, Lexington went down to 9 men, 2 red cards in the second half, and still won. Now, they were never trailing in that Madison match. And then in round 3, part of that 4-3 comeback was when the scoreline was 3-2, Omar Hernandez was sent off for a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And that allowed Lexington to play the final 18 minutes in stoppage time up a man. So red cards and Lexington Jägermeister Cup fixtures are somewhat unfortunately married both directions. This is Balogun. He'll pick out Cerritos. Cross towards the back stick. Gary By punches it away, but can't collect. Yields a throw for Atest Youth. Caputo. Ushered wide to Tate Robertson. Who, for the bulk of his career, has been a menace on the flanks. Round 4 of the Jägermeister Cup. It is the barrel brawl. 1 Knoxville, a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Jalen Chrysler in the 50th minute. Since then, Abiakon receiving his marching orders for a straight red on a headbutt 5 minutes ago. And Lexington playing down a man as they look to avoid their first defeat in Cup action this season. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action here from Regal Soccer Stadium. It was a cagey first half without a shot on goal. It has been anything but a calm second. 20 minutes since the restart. We've had challenges flying in aplenty, chances both ways, and a man sent off. You can check a lot off of your bingo card in these last 20 minutes. Here's Diouf. A lively figure since the restart. Onan. This is Onan. Robertson. 24 minutes of the 90 remain. After all of the events that have transpired here to begin the second, we'll have a fair bit of stoppage time. Robertson's cross deflected, and Lexington with yet another corner. Slowly racking up the set pieces since being relegated to 10 men. Jorge Corrales to take it. The veteran of the American soccer pyramid, who has been a mainstay in the States since 2016. Looping cross towards the back post. Lou Young got ahead to it. But only as far as Tate Robertson. Looking well with Uche. Wanted to sneak it through for Diouf. Instead, it's an unconvincing clearance from Haugley. which yields yet another Lexington corner. Robertson to deliver once again. Former Chattanooga FC man. In swinger towards the back stick. This time Gary Bay all over it. We've mentioned what lies in the balance over the course of these 4 fixtures in 2024 between One Knox and Lexington. The barrel brawl, Knoxville has the barrel out. The winner receives that barrel in addition to a bottle of bourbon from the opponent's hometown. Knoxville, proud owners of a bottle from Lexington after winning on aggregate last year. Got a 3-0 advantage so far over 2 fixtures. Here's Kelly. Stood up by Liu Young and commits the transgression in the process. Two changes for Lexington. Pair of wingers removed. Nico Brown replacing Alexis Cerritos. Pierre Manet replacing Jaden Onen. Those are your 2 changes. Nico Brown's been a super sub. Scored that stoppage time equalizer in the last cup match against Chattanooga after 8 goals a season ago. Pierre Manet, more of a proper holding mid or box-to-box center mid, replacing Onen. Down to 10 men, the alignments can get a bit crafty, and that they have from Darren Powell. On the other side of things, Mark McKeever, the former Young Harris College legend who has reconnected with many of his old proteges at the helm, surveying a defensive masterclass to date. Diouf looking to put a dent in it, and it is read well by the goal scorer, Chrysler. Johnson is looking for Ross and overcooked the ball down the byline. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM 157 and the new Sirius XM app. 1-0 advantage at the 70-minute mark for One Knoxville against their barrel brawl rivals, Lexington SC. Courtesy of Jalen Chrysler's 50th minute opener for his first goal of the year. Lexington has since seen Ebiak Khan sent off, playing down a man as they chase the equalizer. The Lexington side that has not been defeated in their first 3 cup matches, despite the adversity of red card trouble in the past. That unbeaten run hangs perilously in the balance, and perhaps their grip on the top spot in Group 2 does as well. Still time to make up ground, though, for the visitors. As things stand, Ford Madison is top of Group 2. They lead 1-0 at halftime at Chattanooga Red Wolves. So for the first time in the competition, if Lexington is to drop points tonight, we may see a new face atop Group 2 in Jägermeister Cup play. Now, Lexington has 7 goals to their name, so That opens up the option for a potential wild card bid. But obviously, your security in the Final Four is much more assured if you win your group. Kelly bundled over by the substitute Mane. Benton. He's looking for Ross. Still trying to rediscover his footing. It's an errant touch from Mane. Comes free to Ajay. Just put it directly at Amal Knight. Pierre Mane will be the most relieved man on the pitch. Disciplined stop from Knight. Ajay perhaps could have done slightly better with it. This is Balogun. He's substitute up front. Diouf on to Brown. There's space on the near side. This is Nico Brown. He's looking for Balogun. Comes loose to Diouf. Gary Bay passes his first major test. Confident when called upon. This is a good-looking chance from Lexington. Starts with the super sub Brown. Bounces fortuitously to Diouf, who gets a good hit on this. Relatively routine but disciplined stop from the Gonzaga product. But oddly enough, since going down to 10, more life going forward for Lexington than perhaps we've seen all evening. Ajay. There's a couple runners ahead. And waits for support. Approaching the final quarter of an hour of the 90. Ritchie keeps it in play. Castro flicked along. Frank Ross doubling Knoxville's advantage. And what a slick move it was. 2-0 1 Knox in the barrel brawl. Brilliant interplay from one Knoxville. It starts with Ajay. Brilliant ball through to Ritchie, and then the slick flick from Castro to Ross to double Knoxville's lead. Nothing Lexington could do to prevent that. That was scintillating stuff. The 26-year-old Frank Ross, who began his career as a 16-year-old in his native Scotland, came up through the Aberdeen youth ranks. Also played for Rangers and many other sides throughout Europe before coming over to the States last season. 5 goals last year, a slow start to 2024, but a huge finish for one Knox, as they may have just wrapped up the points. And that has to be a goal of the week contender. (2-0) Knoxville with just under 15 to play. And that is a nice welcome back gift for Frank Ross, who, as we mentioned earlier, battled an Achilles injury that kept him out for 4 matches around mid-April and early May. Came back into the fold a few games ago, was still trying to find his footing. That is a great way to build his confidence back up. And he is the first man not named Angelo Kelly or Kempis Tequila to score in the last 6 matches for One Knox. Ritchie looking for more. Castro gets a touch to it. Falls for Ajay. Brown unable to race it out of danger. Johnson. Numbers ahead, tries from afar, and that one will not test him out night. The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. We mentioned at halftime, June 15th, USL League One, center stage on ESPN2. Madison hosting Tormenta in what should be a very fun affair at Breese Stevens Field. We have a terrific crew on hand for that one. Great to see the league get the exposure it deserves, both on Golazo Network, in addition to the ESPN family. In the Jägermeister Cup, the exclusive residence is ESPN+. Right now, Knoxville with a much-needed 3 points nearly in their back pocket. A team that had scored just 2 goals in its first 3 cup fixtures has doubled that tally in 79 minutes tonight. Was the opener in the 50th minute from Jalen Chrysler. Frank Ross doubling it in the 75th. Inside the final 10 minutes of the 90, as previously mentioned, you can expect there to be a hefty number on the stoppage time counter once we hit that threshold. Still time for Lexington, but down a man, and with the deflating Frank Ross goal moments ago, you'd think it would be unlikely for Darren Powell's bunch to salvage anything. Even with some of their man-down heroics in matches past. Benton. This comes to Callum Johnson. Goes down immediately by Mane. Ross, the recent goal scorer. Austin. Cleared away to Mane, having trouble getting it out of trouble and dragged down by Ajay. What a rivalry this has become between One Knox and Lexington. Just 2 years of the barrel brawl. It's been fun. Kelly looking for the final blow. It will come loose to Ates Diouf. Looks ahead for Balogun with the perfectly weighted pass. Chrysler copes with it admirably. Opening the scoring and anchoring a potential clean sheet. This rivalry has drawn the fans out in full force. You see the stadium stands packed. There are attendees on the hill out beyond the University of Tennessee tent. The Knoxville community has shown up in full force, and undoubtedly many of them enjoying a sensational sports day with the baseball team playing the Super Regionals this weekend. Knoxville's the spot to be this weekend. It's so impressive how quickly this fixture has developed as well. Mentioned Lexington, they did not begin competitive play until last year. Knoxville made its professional debut last year. They did begin as a competitive outfit in USL League Two in 2022. And they always intended to go pro, but it came quicker than anyone in the organization could have thought. Now in their second year as a professional outfit, have formed a heated affair with both Lexington and Chattanooga, all of whom are in Group 2. You could argue it's the rivalry group in the Jägermeister Cup. Here's Ross, working well with Castro again. Finally escorted out of trouble by Christian Luyoung. Hearing word a change is beckoning for Knoxville. DJ Benton is the man tipped to make way for James Thomas in what would be a like-for-like swap. Flag is raised against Ross. That change should take place momentarily. So there goes DJ Benton. A solid 85 minutes for him. He is replaced by James Thomas, the Englishman, who most recently featured for Des Moines Menace of USL League Two. His second season with One Knoxville. And now getting an opportunity to close things out for the Scruff City Punch. The Scruffs have got to be loving life right now in the One Knoxville supporter section. A comprehensive display in the second half. Here's Brown. Hunting the run of Balogun, who is rolled over by Chrysler. A whistle from Rafael Santos. Ross growing with confidence with each passing minute. And one back by Kelly. The official finally comes back to the alleged transgression. Mark McKeever has to love what he's seen tonight. He emphasized the issues they had in the opening 20 minutes with slow starts. That did not occur tonight. They were switched on defensively, played a cagey first half expertly, and then in the second, took over the match like they have so many in the final 45 lately. And finally, some reward on the score sheet. And what would be a deserved 3 points here for their second cup victory. For Lexington, it is back to the drawing board in many respects. Their next match on the road at Spokane on June 23rd, a prolonged break, as Darren Powell hopes to get many of his injured players back in that 15-day time span. Ajay looking down the line here for Richie, and this time Knight reading it off his line. For Knoxville, they take on Northern Colorado Hailstorm. They head to the Future Legends Complex in 9 days' time, hunting revenge from that Jägermeister Cup 5-1 defeat at home against the Hailstorm in mid-May. So a nice layoff for both teams before a busier portion of the schedule in late June and early July. Approaching the final stages of the second barrel brawl. And as things stand, it is deja vu from the first. A pair of second half goals separating one Knox from their Kentucky counterparts. And here in Tennessee tonight, it has been a strong second half performance. Kelly. Johnson is bundled over and still prone on the pitch. The referee will come back to that. It's the last thing you want to see for Knoxville. 4 players listed out tonight with injury. And now a crucial midfielder, Callum Johnson. Taking a stinger. The Clemson product, who has been a mainstay the past 2 years for One Knox. Hoping that this is just a minor knock. Up to his feet. And seems well enough to walk off on his own power. Good to see for Knoxville. So Johnson making way. Seems all right, all things considered. A welcome sight. Fans, the referee has indicated a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time, presented by University Family Physicians, your experts in primary care in East Tennessee. A busy second half with 2 goals and a red card. You would have figured 6 minutes popped up on the sheet. And that's what separates One Knox from one more clean sheet. Nico Brown in the book here for Lexington. Here's Balagoon. And Gary Bay claims. Fans, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. It all seems academic at this point, unless Lexington can replicate the stoppage time heroics of 2 weeks ago. With the way this has unfolded, it seems slightly unlikely. 2 more changes being readied. As the long-awaited return of Danny Fernandez takes place. Coming back from an injury that's kept him out the bulk of the last couple months. He replaces Sean O'Hearn. And in addition, Leo Santos was also venturing towards the touchline, the Academy product. We'll see if he gets some extended run. So Fernandez for O'Hearn. The Lenore Rhine product who was so successful in the Division II ranks. Two-time All-SAC selection and a Defensive Player of the Year in the Spring 2021 campaign. Diouf is bundled over. And one final booking before the night comes to a close. Frank Ross, the man who put it in the bag for Knoxville, now in the book. You see him come in on Diouf shoulder to shoulder, but he gets nothing but chin on that challenge. And a consistent yellow with the way the referees called the match. Robertson with a set piece, looking to make things nervy as Leo Santos replaces Callum Johnson, making his first league appearance with Knoxville here in 2024. Diouf, Robertson, 2 minutes of added time remain. Comes out to Pierre Mane. And now Abel Caputo. Well-weighted ball to Robertson, who keeps it in play. And now towards the touchline. Back post for Ates Diouf. Unable to steer that one down enough. He'll win his side of corner, though. Time for one final wrinkle in the tail as Jorge Corrales takes what presumably should be one of his final corner kicks of the evening. Near post, punched away by Gary Bay. Mane tugged to the turf by Angelo Kelly. Into the final minute of added time. Is there a lifeline late for Lexington? Robertson in the immediate vicinity. Partnered by what appears to be Jorge Corrales. Robertson drills it. It's low towards the near post, and it required Gary Bay's attention. Very disciplined save from the youngster. It was a good set piece from a specialist in Tate Robertson. Johan Gary Bay equal to it, though. Read it perfectly at that back stick. One final corner as we're beyond the added 6. Punched away unconvincingly, though. Robertson towards Diouf. All Knoxville really has to do at this point is clear its lines. Diouf looking to manufacture brilliance and tugged down right on the edge of the area. It's a question of whether the contact occurred before he stepped foot in the box. And the lead official says it was just outside the area. We are beyond a minute, post 6 minutes of added time. One final opportunity for Lexington to avoid being blanked here tonight. Any more dynamic attacks in Jägermeister Cup play has been checkmated this evening. Robertson and Corrales right next to it. Robertson dinks, Gary Bay punches, comes to Diouf, and he skies it. Unable to break the 0 on the score sheet. And the final whistle sounds. 1 Knoxville claims all 3 points in this edition of the Barrel Brawl to move to 6 points in Jägermeister Cup play and surge up the Group 2 table. Meanwhile, as things stand, it is Lexington tumbling to second in the group standings. Fans, your Alliance Brewing man of the match is none other than Jalen Chrysler, who scored the opener in the 50th minute. Perfect interplay on the short corner and a towering finish at the back stick with enough pace to take it beyond a male night. That opened the scoring for Knoxville after a cagey first half, and that did the job to open the scoring. From there, Ross doubled it, and that was it for 1 Knoxville, seeing out the 3 points after the 75-minute mark. 2-0, 1 Knoxville, the final score in round 2 of the Barrel Brawl. When we return, a look at what just transpired over the full 90.
Dad, what was it like before KUB Fiber?
Well, there was fiber internet, but it wasn't always fast. If you wanted to download a game or a movie, you just have to wait for it.
Wait for it?
Honey, you're scaring him.
Say goodbye to waiting and say hello to KUB Fiber. True gig speed for just $65 a month. It's the world's fastest internet, right here in East Tennessee. Only from KUB.
Backyard staycations begin with Earthadelic, transforming outdoor spaces into your own relaxing oasis. From custom design to superior installation, our team is dedicated to providing the highest level of quality and craftsmanship with every one-of-a-kind project. Earthadelic offers stunning, resort-worthy outdoor living that will be uniquely suited for your home, delivering a complete turnkey work of art in your backyard. Earthadelic, surpassing expectations and creating the outdoor paradise you've always dreamed of. Contact us today to schedule your consultation.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Back here from Regal Soccer Stadium, where the hosts, 1 Knoxville, have claimed a crucial 3 points to move to 6 points and move up the Jägermeister Cup Group 2 table. Meanwhile, the previous group leaders toppled tonight for the first time in Cup action. Let's take a look at what just unfolded over the previous 90 minutes, which was a comprehensive victory in the end. We pick it up in the 50th after a cagey first half. Jalen Chrysler at the back post, heading it home from a short corner routine. That broke the deadlock in a game that previously had no shots on goal prior to that point. Just a brilliantly worked routine. Chrysler the beneficiary with his first goal of the season, and the captain Skelton's replacement making the difference. Then 9 minutes later, this is where the match turned sour. Ebenezer Akan charging his head into the defender's chest. It was ultimately Sievert Haugley the victim. He's sent off, and that opens the door for Knoxville to put the polishes on things. Terrific flick from Castro. Frank Ross charging it into the back of the net in one of the best goals you'll see all week in round 4 of the Jägermeister Cup. Of course, Frank Ross doubling the advantage in the 75th. And that's where things stood from there. A 2-0 victory for 1 Knoxville over Lexington SC in round 2 of the Barrel Brawl this season. You look at the stats, relatively even. A narrow shots and shots on goal advantage for Knoxville. The possession advantage slightly increasing in that second half. But when you watch the match, it did feel like Knoxville had a grip on things for larger portions of the contest. On the discipline front, Knoxville more yellow cards, but of course the crucial red card against Ebiakon, which made all the difference and allowed Knoxville to claim the second and put the match to bed. Well, that's where things stand. After 90 minutes in Jägermeister Cup Round 4, one Knoxville claims a 2-0 victory over its bitter rival Lexington SC in Round 2 of the Barrel Brawl. One Knoxville a crucial victory to snap a duck in cup play. Lexington tumbling down the Group 2 standings. For our entire crew here on ESPN+, this is Sam Goldfarb saying so long from Regal Soccer Stadium, where one Knoxville prevails 2-0. Have a good rest of your night, everyone.